Top of it, top of it. It's your boy, Coach One Stack, man. Hope everybody, man, loving the content. Thanks for tapping in, y'all. You know, I appreciate that. You know, this morning, I want to make this little video before I go to the gym. But before so, man, I want y'all to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Because, man, it's going to be a little banger. I want to educate y'all on something today, right? And this video comes from, you know, DJ Vlad's channel on Wack100 on Keefe being upset after Hernandez Govan found not guilty in the trial of young Dolph. So now, let me break something down to y'all, because I'm going to put the link in the description. I'm going to put the link in this video. Okay, now, when you watch this video, you're going to see, now, Wack100 is normally on his shit. I got to give it to him. He's normally on his shit. He's normally dead on. But like I said, I am ex-law enforcement. I know how some things go. And one of the first things that you're going to see in this video, Wack100 has a problem with people saying, you know, he proffered. Hernandez Govan proffered. You know, you can't proffer and go to court. That's a lie. You can proffer and still go stand trial. You seen Keefe proffered and is about to stand trial. Okay? Bill Cosby proffered and stood trial. Ralo proffered and still stood trial. What a proffer agreement is, let me explain something to you. I can break this down to y'all. A proffer agreement is just like amnesty for a day. So let's just say they got you in jail on a murder charge, okay? They got you in jail on a murder charge, and you proffer. Well, proffer is just giving information about cases. It could be an open case, it could be a closed case. It might not even be a case yet. The information that you give may turn it into a case. So meaning you're in jail for murder, right? You proffer. You can go talk about 50 armed robberies that you know about, okay? 50 armed robberies. You could talk about 20 kidnappings. You could talk about 100 dope deals. You can talk about 20 people that you know is moving bricks around this joint and put the police on their scent, you know. And it could be like some Frank Lucas stuff where they don't even know who these people are, and you just put the finger on them. See, that has nothing to do with the murder case that you own. And guess what? They will take that information and they will validate that information to make sure that that information is truthful and that you are telling the truth. And now, yes, you still will go to trial for that murder that you own. See, when you proffer, you don't necessarily have to proffer about the crime that you are arrested for. Let me give y'all some more game, man. So just so y'all know how to move throughout the streets and you know law. When it comes down to your Miranda rights, see, proffering is kind of like your Miranda rights. I see a lot of y'all go to jail. Y'all see people go to jail all the time. And y'all say, man, you can't take me to jail. You didn't read me my rights. You don't have to be read your rights when you are arrested, okay? You don't have to be read your rights when you're arrested. You only have to be read your Miranda rights if somebody, you don't have to be read your Miranda rights preceding custodial interrogation. And so in other words, meaning if they have you in custody for a murder, okay? They can ask you about, and in order for them to ask you about the crime that they have you in custody for, right? They have to read you your Miranda rights to let you know that you have the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself. But now, they could ask you about 20 different kidnappings. They could ask you about 20 different robberies. They could ask you about 100 different gun deals. See, they're not asking you nothing about the crime that you are in custody for, right? So that's where your Miranda rights come in. They can question you about anything that they want to, except what they have you in custody for, unless they read you your Miranda rights from a card. And for those of y'all who ever been read your Miranda rights, you got to pay attention. If they don't use a card, that stuff can be thrown out of court because they're supposed to use a card. Now back to the proffer deal in this Wack100 video talking about key glock. Now, So now, so Wack100, you know, I fucks with you, but you wrong on that one. You don't know what you're talking about on that one, bro. I stand strong on that one. You have no idea what you're talking about. You can proffer and still go to trial. You can. You people do it. T.I. proffered. You know, you still can proffer and go to trial. So then we're talking about, you know, how Key Glock is mad that, you know, that Hernandez Govan, you know, basically went free during this trial. Well, Key Glock, we all know that you're not built like that. And if you were so mad, why didn't you put your own work in when this happened? I mean, to keep it quite honest with you, no disrespect, I don't think you're that good of a rapper to begin with. And if it wasn't for Dolph, you wouldn't have been where you was at. I personally didn't like your music. You know, Dolph loved his music day one. You know, if you was not his cousin, let's face it, you would not be Key Glock, and nobody would have ever heard about you. You understand what I'm saying? But like Wack100 went on to talk about in this DJ Vlad interview about, you know, Hernandez Govan and how they had, you know, how he was given a deal, a 10-year plea deal, and you know, he talked about that with his autistic son, and he accepted it, and he signed it, and then the DA went and presented that to Dolph's family, and Dolph's family was like, hell no. Let me break something else down to y'all about that. Man, when you sign that deal, okay, what they should have done, first of all, this is how you know that like down there, man, with that Memphis system, man, it's all jacked up, because the way that's supposed to go is before you offer him a deal to sign, that is when you go to the victim's family first. You go to them and say, hey, we're thinking about offering him this deal for X, Y, and Z. And because they don't have to tell the family anything. Keep that in mind. They don't have to tell the family anything. But in the case where they do offer a deal and they do go to the family, they go to the family first before they even sign a deal. Say, hey, we want to offer him 20 years. How y'all feel about that? The family may say, you know, we think that's cool. And then they'll go back to, you know, to you and your attorney and say, you know what, we talked to the family, man, you know, we trying to resolve this, and we got 20 years on the table. Okay? Now, they can sign it, or or it might not be a deal, because the family may say, you know, we want him to stand trial. And sometimes that carries weight with the DA, but not the judge. Okay? So now that's what happened in the case of young Dolph. They did not accept that plea deal. So now this is why Hernandez Govan ended up going to trial. And once again, man, you know, I don't like to keep y'all on, but subscribe to the channel, man. Hit that notification bell. Share the content, man. Let's get 100 likes on this video. At the end of the day, when Hernandez Govan got arrested, the only person that could really tie him into this case was Big Jug. So you know, they're asking on this video, you know, hey, why wasn't Big Jug arrested when Hernandez Govan was? That's because Hernandez Govan stuck to the street code and kept his mouth shut. Because if he would have, when he got arrested at that time, if he would have implicated Big Jug ass would have been arrested too, because now you're not dealing with hearsay. You're dealing with firsthand information from somebody who's involved in it, who did not take part in it and use no weapons. You understand what I'm saying? And he's like, well, yeah, you know, me, and he could have provided the information about Big Jug. This is why we know Big Jug was deleted by his own brother. But they moved so cold and kept that buffer. See, Hernandez Govan is what you call a buffer between people. He was the go-between between Big Jug and whoever was gonna carry this contract out in the streets. You dig? So you can't lead people to believe that Cornelius Smith and Straight Drop just woke up one day out the blue for no particular reason at all, right? And started hunting young Dolph for basically 2 days, because they tried to get him the day before. Hunting him for 2 days, just out of the blue for no reason. You know, they were told this, but the reason why he got free, man, they couldn't see any money exchange, they couldn't see any text message exchange, and the only information that they had was from a person who deleted young Dolph and is fighting for his life, and straight drop ain't even went to court yet. And so his word is not good enough to stand up in court because you don't have no receipts. Okay, so now getting rid of Big Jook was a very good move by Yo Gotti. And, you know, like I said, I'm going off this DJ Vlad video with Wack100. I need y'all to check that out. It's a pretty cool video. But at the end of the day, Hernandez Govan definitely could have proffered about many other things. You don't have to proffer about the case that you're arrested for. You can, Keefe did that. Keefe proffered for 2 years. He did proffer agreement. He did proffer meetings for 2 years. And it wasn't just about the Tupac thing. It was about PCP. It was about other drug dealers. It was about robberies. You guys can go check out the video yourself and see the 2 officers who were in charge of his proffer agreements, and they will tell you this. You dig what I'm saying? But hey, man, that's enough for y'all today, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Go check out that DJ Vlad interview, man. Talk to me in the comments because I talk back. Other than that, man, be blessed, not stressed, and make sure you're getting plenty of rest and stay the hell up out of trouble.